Hi everyone, and welcome to this poetic mess of me talking about knitting. And today we're talking about summer knits. We're gonna discuss yarns. I'm gonna share my knowledge, what yarns are good or not good, because I think I tried every type of yarn for summer knitting. I'm gonna talk what to knit and some things I learned. Then I'm gonna share some patterns that I saved in my Ravelry, some patterns and just some inspirations that I have currently. So if you're looking for information, experience from somebody else, some inspiration, and some tips and tricks, this is the video for you. I'm also gonna show you my stash of summer garments, and I'm gonna talk about them. It's probably gonna be a long video. If it's too long, I'm probably gonna split it in two parts, but you're gonna know about it because I will add this information during editing. Okay, let's start with yarns. I tried different yarns because I live in a warmer climate, and at some point I was considering like only doing summer knits, which I don't do anymore, and I will explain it later. So I tried different types of cotton. I tried linen. I tried different types of wild silk. I tried tencel. I tried hemp. I tried things like nettle, and also I tried mixes when you have summer yarn, like some like cotton mixed with cashmere and stuff like this. Cotton is probably the most common yarn for summer knits, but it's actually my least favorite. The reason I like cotton because it's usually easily available. Any store would have cotton. You can go to just craft store that is not like knitting related, find some relatively affordable cotton there. You can thrift it if you find some places where you can thrift yarn. It's easy to find. And then when I started knitting, I think there was mostly cotton, like linens and tencels and viscose. They were not as readily available. Also, the good thing about cotton, if you want to do multicolored garments, if you want to try different colors, if you're looking for a particular shade, usually if you look at cotton, you can find anything. For example, when you talk about linen is much harder to dye. So in terms of colors, linen is very limited. So that's why if I look for something where I want like, I don't know, extreme bright colors, I would probably look first of all at cotton. The reason I don't like cotton because for me, cotton is not hot summer yarn. So if you're making something for extremely hot, extremely humid climate, or you're like doing it for something like for vacationing, cotton may not be the best fiber. Why? Because cotton, the way how it works on your body, so it will absorb the heat from your body, will absorb any humidity that's like, on the surface of your skin, and it will hold on to this humidity. So if you're sweating, all the sweat goes in your garment. So that means you have to wash it more often. Also, cotton is very heavy. If you're making a larger garment, let's say you decide to do a summer cotton dress or like a cotton sweater, it's going to be heavy. So you need a lot of yarn. And if you usually say like, oh, I know, like, let's say I'm making merino sweater. Oh, I only need like, let's say 400 grams for this particular merino sweater. For cotton, you will need much more, and you're better off looking at how many, yardage, how many meters of this yarn you need versus a gram. So it's going to be much more heavy. So for like bulkier garments, it's going to be more heavy. If you hand wash it, like for example, I hand wash all of my knitted garments except for socks that are superwash. So I hand wash it. It takes forever to dry, especially in our area. It's like we don't have much sun. The house is not very hot in summer. So it's like it takes forever to dry. And sometimes when we have a couple of overcast days or rainy days, then it sits there. It's like super like, I don't know, damp, and it's almost starts smelling. I don't know, because it just doesn't dry in 3-4 days and I have to jump through the hoops. So I personally don't like to work with cotton as much, especially if it's something that's going to be close to my body and I have to wash it a lot. There are different types of cotton. Some cottons are better than others. For example, if you look into premium cottons, these are usually Pima cotton, some types of American cottons, and also Egyptian cotton. So if you look into those long staple fibers, those are the premium ones, and something that's cheaper like Mercer. Oh my God, I don't know how. Sometimes, the problem with me, if the word sounds the same in my native language, I don't understand how to pronounce it in English. So in Russian, we say мерсеризированный, and in English, it's mercerized. Oh my God, my brain is stuck. Okay, you know what I'm thinking, mercerized. So now I'm going to sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, but I just literally don't know how to pronounce it. Sometimes it happens to my brain. So these types of cotton are a little bit cheaper. I feel like cotton is great in crocheted garments, And when you knit, it's a little bit harder to work with because it's hard to get like even stitches. When I personally work with cotton, most often than not, I just have very like uneven. If I, like say if I do stockinette stitch, it's very uneven. It's very like it doesn't look very good. So I feel like cotton is probably better for some if you do some patterns, if you do like a purl and knit, so if you do some like lacing and stuff like this. I don't like stockinette stitch. One more thing that I didn't mention about cotton, I have often this problem that not only is the stitching uneven, but it's like getting kind of lopsided. And even after blocking, it still kind of looks crooked. At the same time, if you do some patterns, if you crochet, if you do any lace, obviously this crookedness goes away. It's only in a stockinette stitch. The cotton that I said is a good one, for example, this one is a Pima cotton, is extremely hard to work with because it consists of many small fibers and it's constantly splits when you knit with it, and it's really pain in the ass. And also, I feel like most of the cotton that you buy in a store, it's too thick to be for a hot summer. So for me, cotton is not a hot summer; it's like a cool summer, if that. Actually, let me show you a few things. I will talk in detail about them. For example, this one, it's a summer raglan tee made out of Pima cotton. This is another summer, also cotton garment. What else I have? And this as well. But these things you probably saw if you're following my channel already. So these are the cotton ones. Next one is probably linen. That's what most people would think like, oh, summer should be linen. And this is a good choice. Linen is a great fiber if we talk about hot summers, humid summers, if you're like very active, if you sweat a lot, or if in general, like for me personally, if I move a lot, I get hot very easily. If I sit for a while, I get cold. So my temperature is not very well regulated because they're gonna obviously take all the heat, all the humidity of your body. But compared to cotton, it doesn't become so heavy. It doesn't become as pleasant if you like more sweaty. One thing I personally don't like about it, it's very hard to knit. It's almost like you're using a wire to knit. It's not like knitting nice alpaca. It's not like knitting merino or something like this, like knitting wool. It's very like, I don't know, it's not pleasant on my hands. It also looks very holey. One thing I have to say about linen, as soon as you start wearing it, it gets softer. But the first impression is like it's like you're having some like a net. It's like has very like a plasticky almost feel to it. But what's good about linen, the more you wear it, the softer it gets, the nicer it gets. It's like it's almost likes to be on your body. It adjusts to warmness of your body and stuff like this. And definitely it's like the most breathable, the most pleasant material you can come up with. I worked quite a lot with linen, so I have this t-shirt is a linen t-shirt. For example, this is a linen tee, like a linen top. I also have this sweater. Again, I will show you these items a little bit later, and I'm gonna show it on myself. So I have this like lacy sweater made out of linen. I have this ranunculus. Unfortunately, it shrank a little bit. So I have this one. Please don't attack my knits. My bird is going there to attack my knits. What else I have? Oh God. Also, I think I have this collar. And actually, this shirt is also linen. Yeah, so linen I think I use the most because I consider it is like a summer fiber. But then I realized like where I live, we don't have the warmest. I mean, where we live, we have lots of microclimates. If if I need to drive like 1 hour to another part of Bay Area, let's say I'm driving to Berkeley or to Marine or like San Jose, it's going to be extremely hot there. And if I lived in those areas, I would definitely utilize lots of linen. But I live in Pacific by the coast. We get lots of fog in summer. We get lots of like a cool breeze winds. The ocean is really cold, so most of the time I don't really need those items. And I just wear cotton t-shirts most of the time. Not the ones are made by me, but the ones I buy in the store. One thing about linen that I don't quite like, as I said, it's really hard to dye linen. So most of the garments I bought, and these are items I made like 4 or 5 years ago, Yeah, so most of the linen I could find back then was like more natural colors. So you see, like everything is natural. But the problem, what I realized, I don't wear this type of beige. So unfortunately, this item's not getting enough wear. So what I'm trying to do now, I'm trying to be more. Oh my God, seriously. It's hard to record something when you're. But recently, I actually found this like bright orange linen. Let's see. I'm gonna make something out of it. I already made a swatch, but unfortunately, it's very like dry, and I can't imagine how it's gonna be on my skin. So as I said, you see like linen, it looks like very. It's almost like you're dealing with wire. Anyway, so linen, if you haven't tried it yet, if you plan to wear it in a hot, hot summer, go for linen. And if you have a choice between cotton and linen, I would go always for linen. Again, if you can find the right color, the right weight, and stuff like that. The next yarn I want to talk about, it's not very widely used by knitters for many reasons, and I'm going to talk about them in a moment. It's silk. First of all, before we go any further, silk can be produced very unsustainably, very unresponsibly. So before going into silk, do your research. There are ways to produce it more sustainably. It's called wild silk and other names. Here I pulled out some names for the sustainable silks. One is called ahimsa silk or peace silk. Another one is airy silk. Another one is Tusa silk and any type of recycled silk. I worked with Tusa. I worked with another one that's called Buret. It's like the same story. And another one is recycled silk. Again, if you can, let's say if somebody is destashing, it's a good time to get some silk. Or if you can find it in some place where it's like, I don't know, like a thrift store and stuff like this, I would urge you not to buy silk that is unsustainably produced. But again, do your research, decide. Maybe for you it's okay. Maybe for you it's not that big of an issue. So I have several. Actually, I don't see where the other one. Okay, so I have this one, and it's a wild silk. And you can see, so usually, when we think of silk, we think about something smooth, shiny, glossy, but the wild silk is not like that because it's produced in different way. So you see it's a little bit more rough and rugged. But something about silk that nobody knows, silk is the best material if you are like you live in a hot climate, or if you're constantly getting hot, cold, hot, cold, if the climate changes a lot. So, like for example, you're outside, it's very hot, and you go inside the restaurant or inside the shopping mall or inside the office building and it gets colder. So silk is a really good material because they help your body to stay in the same temperature. Also, the good thing about silk, because the bacteria and all this stuff doesn't attach to silk, so any body odor doesn't end up like smelling and stuff like this. If you're sweating, it's not going to smell. You're not going to need to wash this garment as often. You just need to aerate it because just bacteria doesn't grow in there. So it's like in terms of comfort, in terms of features, it's probably one of the best summer garments, summer yarns. The problem with silk, it's obviously it's expensive, it's hard to find the one sustainable. Also, the problem with silk is that you have to hand wash it and you have to be careful. You can't use hot temperatures, you can't use the machine washing, because you're gonna just destroy it. You have to be very gentle. But the good part, you don't need to do any like aggressive wash. What you do, you just put it in a like you put like a water in a water bowl. You just submerge it, you kind of like massage it a little bit, and that's it. And usually if you have like several silk garments, you can buy a special solution to for a silk, so it keeps it not dull, so it gives it nice look, I don't know, whatever. So this is one of I think I had another, no, actually another garment I unraveled. Yeah, so I have this vest made out of silk, and I was planning to wear it, on a bare body, but it didn't quite work for me. So I'm still thinking I might unravel it and do something else with it because it's really nice for fiber. Yeah, so silk can be quite expensive. It's not very widely available. It's not very like probably big color choice, and especially if like have to narrow down to more sustainable production of silk. But it exists. Also, I remember somebody was talking about brushed silk, so it looks almost like alpaca. So it's like very fluffy, but it's actually a silk. So that's another great thing. She said, I remember she mentioned it was costing leg and arm, and I will add the I will try to remember who was talking about it, and I would add a screenshot of that video if I find it. But she was saying it was like costing obviously arm and leg, but it was really pleasant. So it's again, if you are not limited by budget or you want to like, I don't know, indulge in something nice, look into that stuff. In terms of my plans, I have this silk that I unraveled from another project and I'm really trying to use it. Again, unfortunately, back in the day, I was buying the colors that I don't wear anymore and it's hard for me to style them. So it's a little bit complicated. But since it was a nice yarn, I'm still trying to use it. Okay, next ones. Okay, this is the Bourette silk. And you can see it has a very ruggedy texture. It's like almost looks rough, but it's actually very pleasant to wear. It looks good in stockinette stitch. Good, looks good in different laces and stuff. So the next yarn is a viscose. Other names are rayon, tencel, lyocell, whatever. It's like the same type, the same process. So it's they use the wood pulp. And there are different processes, there are different names for it, but more or less the same idea. So it's a plant-derived fabric, mostly from a wood pulp. This is a great summer yarn and also going to be very breathable. It's going to be very pleasant. One thing you have to know about viscose, it's very drapey. So whatever you need out of it, it's not going to be very stiff. Actually, the same as linen most of the time, it's going to be very drapey. So like, let's say if you use cotton, sometimes you can make like a very stiff garment if you need to. Let's say it's a cardigan or something. But viscose is the best for like very like a flowy garments. I tried to do a couple of items out of viscose. I don't have them anymore because I don't really like drapey fabrics, or at least I didn't like back in the day. So I never ended up like wearing anything. Right now I have a new yarn I bought. This is a mix of linen and viscose, linen and tencel. So let's see. I'm trying to give it another try. But the good thing about viscose is that it's becoming more and more popular. It's much better than cotton in terms of breathability, in terms of like how it sits on the body. Especially if we're talking about hot summer, I would choose viscose over cotton. And it's also, since it's becoming more popular, you can find it in wider options in terms of thickness, color, and stuff like this. One thing I have to mention about viscose, and actually we can say the same about cotton, there are many interesting yarns made out of these fibers. For example, this one, you can see it's a braid. It's very thick knitting, but at the same time it's very airy, very drapey, and very lightweight. So this is viscose and this is cotton. For example, if you like this type of texture, I feel like those braided yarns, this is viscose, are actually the best. And besides these textures, you can get many other very awesome textures made out of cotton or viscose. So it's lots of experimentation. One thing about viscose, if you have 100% viscose or it's like a mix, this fiber always stretches. So when you're like planning your garment, like you're doing your math or you're doing your swatch, either you have to make a very big swatch, it has to be like this. But even in this case, so what's gonna happen? Let me grab this one. I think is a viscose. Yeah. So usually, like when you plan your swatch and you do your measurements, when you're gonna have a full garment, and especially if it's a larger garment that's gonna be like have certain weight, it's gonna stretch like this and basically shrink like this. So like let's say if you did your measurement and you're like, okay, this is how wide my sweater is gonna be, it's probably gonna shrink like this. So this is something to keep in mind. The cool part about viscose, they produce it in a variety of types. For example, this one, it's I don't know if I can show it to you, but it's actually like a braid. It's almost like you can see. I'll probably have to film it after. Yeah, so they have different varieties, and you can experiment with the texture. You can experiment with different materials. I have another garment. No, I don't have it here. So if you want to experiment with different textures, different looks of the fiber, viscose is your best bet. I will add some pictures how different the viscose fiber can look like. I mean, they also do sometimes cotton, varieties, but in viscose you can find a lot. Something about viscose: when you wash it, it's going to become heavy and it's going to become very stiff. Cotton is kind of similar, but viscose especially. So if you wash something and it's kind of like looks very stiff and pleasant, always remember, as soon as it dries, as soon as you put it on, it's going to get softer and drapier. Something about viscose, which is super weird. Some types of viscose that you might also come across is like bamboo fiber or bamboo yarn. It's kind of similar. I think bamboo is usually more silky, more like glossy yarn. And in general, viscose can be different. Sometimes it can be very matte. Sometimes it's more like shiny and glossy. Again, very wide variety of types of yarn, the way how it's produced. It can be chain, it can be a braid, it can be like brushed, whatever. A few other yarns I want to mention. I think this is a hemp, if I don't remember, if I'm not mistaken. So this is another like more rare but very interesting yarn for the summer, hemp, and another one is Ramie or yeah, I guess it's Ramie. That's the name. So if you come across these fibers, they're also much better than cotton because they're going to be more breathable, more pleasant for the hot summers. I only had a brief experience working with hemp and Ramie and similar yarn. A few things I have to say, I feel like they're mostly good for people who gravitate towards like natural colors because there is lots of undyed yarn. There's lots of yarns that look like very rusticy. They have like natural dyes and stuff like this. Now, before we move further, let's talk about yarns that are not good for the summer. Anything that has acrylic or polyester are not good because acrylic actually meant to replicate the wool, so it's supposed to trap the heat. So if it has something is like has a acrylic mixed in, it's going to be warm. It's definitely not for a hot summer. Maybe it's for a cool summer or cool evenings, but not summery technically. Also, if anything has polyester or any synthetic content, especially if it's like, I don't know, more than 20% of synthetic content, it's not going to be pleasant for the summer. It's going to be not breathable. It's going to trap like, body odor. It's going to be stinky. You'll have to wash it a lot. But at the same time, if it's a little bit of synthetic material, especially if it's polyamide or polyester, it's not bad actually because that means the fiber is more stable and you can use washing machine to use. I have this yarn, so it's actually, I think it's 70% cotton and 30% polyester. Usually I don't go for polyester fibers, but this one, it's a braid. And the cool part, if I make something out of it, I'm actually planning to make a sweater. It's not going to be a summer garment. It's just going to be like a light sweater. You can use a washing machine to wash it. So if we are talking about summer yarns, most of them you will have to. I mean, some of the summer yarns you actually can wash in a washing machine, just don't use the high heat because viscose, linen, they're going to be destroyed. The item going to look more like it's being used too long or it's just not going to look nice. Plus, it destroys the fibers. So you have to wash it in a cold water. And some things like silk, you have to hand wash it. But if you want something that can be easily washed in the machine without you even worry that it's going to shrink, look into 10-20% of polyamide. Polyamide usually used for making like the yarn durable, and polyester is just the way to make it cheaper. So if you're looking into cheaper option, look for the mix with polyester. If you look into just strong garment, like for example for socks, they use polyamide because that makes it stronger. And actually another thing I'm going to mention here, sometimes you can find some yarn that is, let's say like 90% cotton, 10% cashmere, or I don't know, 95% cotton, 5% merino. And some people are worried it's going to be too hot, or why would you add merino or cashmere or like other like winter fibers. The reason they add it, it's going to make your garment softer. So for example, I'm working on this pattern. It's called Darjeeling top. And I'm using different yarn, but the yarn the pattern calls for, it's actually cotton cashmere. And I can imagine like how nice and soft and drapey this yarn gonna be. So if you can find something with a little bit of wool, don't worry about it. It's not gonna be hot. And even if it's relatively warm summer, you're not going to be like sweaty. Okay, let me show you my knitted garments, talk about them a little bit more, and then I will share with you my inspiration, my ideas, and experience. So this one is made out of linen. I follow the pattern. Obviously, all the patterns will be in the description. I made it more oversized than it was supposed to be. I don't remember if initial pattern called for linen, but I used linen. There was 2 types of linen used here. And I was actually supposed to add buttons, but since I made it so oversized, I decided that I don't need the buttons. I actually really like this garment. Obviously, it's not very, I don't know. I just use it like as a, I never close it as a shirt. It's supposed to be a shirt. I just use it like this. And I feel like it's a nice layering piece. This item I actually like a lot, and I was even thinking to repeat it because when I ordered this yarn, I was hoping it's going to be brighter because I like bright colors. This one is a little bit too faded for me. So I was actually thinking to redo it in a brighter color, but I don't know. I don't like this is actually crochet, and I don't know if I can man up and crochet such a large garment again. Maybe one day. My second favorite is this one. It's a sweater. Okay, I need to figure out which side is the right side. It's actually a very great garment. I don't remember the name of it. I think it's called Villanelle sweater. It's by a Russian designer. And again, I will link everything below. So this is how it looks. Obviously, you have probably used some nude bra or something like same color as your body. So I really like the pattern. I like the lacing. It was actually a fun project to work with because I practiced different things. And I think this was my first like complicated lacy project. What I don't like about it, I don't know, maybe I messed it up, but something is wrong with my neckline. And it's constantly goes like this. But I think maybe I messed it up because this was one of my first projects that is this complicated. I made it like a while ago. I definitely like it. I was even thinking to repeat it, but I don't like repeat garments. So, but this one, awesome. And this is also linen. I think it's undyed natural linen, and it's like so nice. It's so pleasant, and I usually use it for like a, let's say if it's a little bit cooler day, it's really nice. And then when it's hot, you never get too hot in it. This is actually one of my last garments. I really like how it looks like, but I don't really wear it because I don't know. I just don't like how see-through it is. I don't know. I just maybe actually it looks good with these pants. Maybe I'm gonna start wearing it. This is also this is a linen, like very like kind of like a rough linen, and this is I think silk and cashmere or something like this. This was the the fiber that I thrifted long time ago. So I didn't have enough of it, so I use it for stripes. Yeah. Yeah, so this is the case when I tell you, like, when you have like a cotton with cashmere. I think this is cotton silk cashmere. This is so soft when you touch it. It's like so pleasant. So there we go. That garment was self-drafted. So, okay, editing Stella here. And almost about every garment, I'm going to say something like, oh, I don't like it. I don't quite wear it. I hate it. It's not good. It's this. Something I just want to tell you, I am a person who tends to be very critical towards my own work. I'm very judgmental. I'm working on it, but it's still work in progress. So if you get annoyed by me criticizing every item and critiquing every item, just know it doesn't mean anything. It's just the way how I talk about stuff that is made by me. It doesn't mean that I hate the item. It doesn't mean that I'm such a negative person or that I need something and hate what I need. It's just the way how I talk. Just keep in mind. So this is another self-drafted garment. This was when I was into different like sustainable fibers. This is hemp, undyed hemp, and I self-drafted this garment. It has this like, I don't know if you can see this nice details. It has this like folded, like I really like this design. I would probably do it a little bit wider here right now, but I do not like the color because I don't like this type of oatmeal colors. I mean, it looks good with this pants, but I just don't like it. And also for some reason, it's very rough. When you touch it, it's extremely rough. And I feel like maybe it's like the same as linen, you just have to wear it more, but I just never wear it because it's kind of itchy. But I'm an itchy person, so I don't know. This is the silk. Remember, I was telling you about my green asymmetrical vest. This is another self-drafted garment. I think it's a very beautiful design, but I kind of, I think I did something wrong, so it's too loose here. And the reason it's loose because silk doesn't hold, if you do any ribbing, the silk would not hold it. It just has like a weird, it's kind of has a weird shape because, as I said, the silk, it stretches. I don't know, it's very beautiful, but because it's so dark, it almost gives you like a winter garment vibe, but it's not winter because it's silk. So, and it's too big to be used, because it's like you can't wear. I don't know. It's just like maybe somebody would wear it. I just don't wear it. I just don't like how it looks. It's not my style. So I'm actually planning to do something about it because I think I only wear it once or twice. This one you probably recognize. This is a ranunculus. I made it long time ago and then it shrank because by accident it ended up in a washing machine. That's what's gonna happen if you put your linen in a washing machine. So it's a linen. I mean, it's still okay, but it used to be more oversized. I mean, it's kind of actually cute garment. I like it. Again, it's not exactly my style because it's very it's too romantic for me. I don't like this style, but I mean, it is cute. And I think I did some alterations to the pattern. See, this is another linen item. So this is how it goes. This one, I think I followed a free tutorial on YouTube or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's nice, but again, I just don't like the color. I wish I made it like out of some bright colors, but this one I actually remember I mentioned in my video that I was planning to unravel it. This is a very awkward garment. It was one of my first projects when I just started knitting, and either the pattern was wrong or I did something wrong. It's like, I don't know. It's kind of cute design, but then it has this weird, just has a weird shape, you know. But it has this cute frills. So in general, it's like very interesting design. It has this like a zero. It has like a zero raglan. It has this like a boat neck, but so you can see how uneven are stitches. I don't even care about unevenness, but it's actually annoying. But what the problem with this garment, it's very heavy. So you see how thick it is. And this is something about cotton. If you buy cotton and it's very thick, basically it's just too hot. Even it's like very cropped. I don't know, I get hot in this item. And if it's too cold, if it's a cool summer, I get cold in it. So I don't really wear it. To be honest, most of my garments are extremely cute, but I have a weird taste that changes a lot. So I just don't like them anymore. This was literally one of the first items I made, and this was self-drafted. Okay, where's the front? Where's the back? I don't know. Yeah, so this is like a raglan tee, self-drafted. I was using cotton. It's actually really nice cotton. I don't know. The problem is like it has very tight, so it's very tight here. It has like not very beautiful neck and it's kind of short. So it's like if you wear it on a cold day, it's too short and you get cold here. And on a summer day, warm day, it's too hot because, it's a very thick cotton. I don't know. It's cute, but I don't wear it. Cute, but I don't wear it. That's the story of my life. I mean, this one, I don't know. I'm not going to show you this one because you already seen it many times on me. The last one is the weird one. So technically this is, I used cotton, but I used a very thick cotton. So technically this is I don't know, sweater vest. It's cotton, so it's too cold in winter and too hot in summer. So I don't really get much wear out of it. And technically it's not even a super summery garment. But since it's made out of cotton, one thing about cotton, certain types of cotton, they hold the shape very well. So if you want to do something like this, definitely choose cotton because linen doesn't always hold shape as well. Okay, and the last thing that I didn't show you, actually I have this beautiful color. Obviously, I need a t-shirt to wear it, but you get the idea. Super cute. I was following like a free tutorial on YouTube. It's a crochet. And the last thing I'm gonna show you, this is this raffia bag. So it's supposed to go like this. And this is self-drafted. It's also like one of the first items. Obviously, I just looked at the scheme to make this circle and the rest I don't know. I used to crochet as a kid, so I just remembered how I was doing it. Yeah, it has this little button here, so it's like a simple item. Editing still here. This video actually going to be 2 parts. We're going to finish the first part right here, and in the next part I'm going to show you my knitting inspiration. I'm going to share my experience, what to knit, what not to knit, my tips about how to choose the right garments, and also I'm going to show you what I'm planning to knit, my knitting plans for the summer knits. Stay tuned.
You see me and I see you. Lemon plants and cactus tree. You see me and I see